All right, sometimes you have multiple ratios in one, and this problem is an example of that, where we're given a ratio of 2 to 3 to 5. And so I really want to write down what does that mean, because I probably am going to need to refer to it over and over. And so I can read right before it, it says they go even further to say the ratio, here it is, the ratio of cashews, almonds, and Brazil nuts. So I'll put cashews, almond, Brazil is going to be 2 to 3 to 5. And when we have multiples like that, it means I can say that the ratio of cashews to Brazil nuts is 2 to 5, and that the ratio of cashews to almonds is 2 to 3, and that the ratio of almonds to Brazil nuts is 3 to 5. So I can use any of those ratios. So here we have, suppose, okay, mixed nuts make a healthy and delicious snack. An online store promises cashews, almonds, and Brazil nuts in a mixed bag of nuts. They go even further to say that it'll have this ratio in every bag. Suppose there are 5 ounces of cashews in the bag. How many ounces of almonds and Brazil nuts will a bag have? Well, we can figure that out, but we will need to do it in 2 separate steps. So the first step is we would write cashews to almonds. And we know from our ratio that that is going to be 2 to 3, cashews to almonds. And then we also know that we have 5 ounces of cashews, so that's going to go in the numerator. So we'll have 5 ounces of cashews to X ounces of almonds. And then we have a simple proportion equation to solve. So again, multiply the two denominators together and multiply that on both sides. So we're using that as a way to find a common denominator to reduce our fractions down so that we can solve for the x. So we will multiply them together because it's the simplest way to find a common denominator. We don't need the least, we just need a common one. So we'll do 3x over 1 multiplied on both sides of the equation. And on the left, I can see that my 3's will reduce and my x's on the right. And I have 2 times x on the left and 5 times 3, or 15, on the right. And then the 2 is being multiplied by the x, so I would like to divide both sides by that 2. 2 divided by itself, of course, is just a 1, which then multiplies by my x, which just leaves me an x. And on the left, then I have x equals, and then 15 divided by 2, you can use your calculator, or if you know, it's 7.5. And go back to the problem, and I see x was in the denominator, and that was almonds. So x is 7.5 ounces of almonds. So I know I have 7.5 ounces of almonds. And I have some number of ounces of Brazil nuts. And I don't know what that is yet. So I'll just put my information there and then we'll calculate here. So now we'd like to do cashews to Brazil nuts. Then when we do that ratio, if I look back here, it was cashews was 2, Brazil nuts was 5. So I'll do 2 to 5 equals, and now we have 5 ounces of cashews still, so that's going to be 5 in the numerator, and x, because we don't know how many ounces of Brazil nuts. Multiply those two, and we'll have a 5x, so that'll be 5x over 1 on the left, and on the right, do some reducing. 5's reduce. On the right, the x's will reduce. Now on the left, I have an x and a 2, so I'll rewrite it in 2x equals, and then I have 2 5's and they're being multiplied, so it's 25, and then divide both sides by 2, so I can get the x all by itself, so undo that multiply with a divide, and so I have x equals 25 divided by 2, I happen to know is 12.5. If you don't happen to know that, your calculator will help you know that, or you can use long division. So I have 12.5 ounces of Brazil nuts. And so I predetermined that I was finding the ounces of Brazil nuts, and I wrote out part of my solution there, but I just needed to fill in that 12.5. In a hardware store, bags of miscellaneous nails are sold at a discount. If a bag containing 300 nails has a 4 to 5 to 6 ratio of nails in decreasing lengths, how many of each nail should the bag have? And so we have a 4. I'm going to put the words first. So that'll be 3-inch, 2-inch, and 1-inch nails, and it has a 4 to 5 to 6 ratio. And this problem is a little bit different than the one we just worked on, because the one we just worked on, we were told how many of one of the items, like say the long nails, how many long nails were in the bag. And for this problem, we only know the total number of nails in the bag. We don't know how many long, medium, or short that we have. So what we need to do is add up all of the proportion here. So we do 4 plus 5 plus 6, and that's going to give us 15. And so then we can say for each nail length, and I maybe should move this a little bit. I'll put that over there so we can still use our little chart right here. So then what we know for the 3-inch nail is that we have 4 out of 15 are going to be 3-inch, 5 out of 15 are going to be 2-inch, and 6 out of 15 are going to be the 1-inch. That's beautiful. Now we have a fraction for each of our types of lengths. And so then out of 300 nails, so that's the size of our bag, we know that 4/15 of the 300 nails are 3-inch nails. And I wanted to write it like that because I wanted to introduce you to this idea that the word of, if you write out a sentence similar to this, you can use of that converts directly into multiply. And are or is, that converts directly into an equal sign. So if we can write ourselves a sentence like that and we have all the information except for one piece, or we just need the answer to that question, we can calculate things pretty easily. So what I would rewrite this to be is 4/15 times those 300 nails equals our number of 3-inch nails. So we want to know the total that we get when we multiply those two. So 4/15, I can do that on my calculator, either by using that fraction button and doing 4 and then the ABC button and then the 15. And then I can say times 300 and I get 80. And we just said above, that's the 3-inch nails. So I have 80 3-inch nails. Okay, so that's for one of them. I want to show you I want you to go ahead and try for number 2, the 2-inch nails, and then try for the 1-inch nails. So go ahead and pause, and then you can play me again if you need to see the problems worked out, or just jump ahead to the answers and double check yourself.